this is our season, lads.
Right, hello and welcome back to the That York City Fan YouTube channel. Now, the last couple of weeks have not been so enjoyable as a York City fan. We're 3 games into the season, 2 losses, only 1 point on the table so far. So today we're going to be talking about sort of what's going on and what on earth is going wrong. So I'm going to sort of set the scene for you if you don't know. First game we lost 2-1 to Wealdstone. We gave away a penalty. They scored that, then we got a red card, and then they scored a couple of minutes later. So it wasn't overall a very good match to start the season. Then we had our first home match against Kidderminster. That was a 1-0 loss, and we lost with a goal, I think, in the 88th minute, and a player, Morgan Smith, who used to play for us. It seems like it happens every single game. And then on Tuesday, or this last Tuesday, we drew 2-2 with Altrincham at home. And I did go to that game, so I'll have a bit of insight on that as well. So first of all, some things to take from the Wealdstone game. Obviously, Dipar Akinyemi scored his first goal for the club. He, over the definitely that Wealdstone game, and also very much in the Altrincham game on Tuesday, I saw. He's been very, very good. He also scored in the Altrincham game. So 2 goals from 3 games. It's not bad, and you can see that he's a good finisher, so that's a good positive. A couple of things about players. On the Tuesday game, I was very impressed by Thierry Fairweather and Leviando. The tactics were good in that one, 4-3 back to a 4-3-3. Mikey Morton decided to do that, and they were sort of fullbacks / wingbacks, and I thought they had some nice runs, both of them, and looked generally quite creative. Additionally, on Tuesday, where I think a lot of things changed at the Altrincham game, Morton didn't put John Lewis in the starting lineup. I thought that was sort of a good decision. Coming on as a substitute is a better role for him, I think, in the team like this. Same with Dan Pybus. Him not starting is very not very good, but I think we have better options than him. And the actual lineup that lined up against Altrincham, 9 out of the 11 of them were new signings from this summer. So I think that's really good that we're using the players and resources that we've got to try and help us. Overall, I think the Altrincham game was a huge improvement. We only came out with a draw, a couple of defensive mistakes, but I thought that we deserved a point in the end, and I'll get on to that a little bit later. And then, of course, the entire stadium, especially on a Tuesday night, were in good voice. So it's good to hear that none of that has changed this season. Now moving on to actually what I think is going wrong. So starting off with the fullbacks, Leviando and Thierry Fairweather, both of them I said had a very good game against Altrincham. But we did look very open on the wings. They were sort of having a fine time. I heard some people behind me in the stand say number 2's having a holiday. He was one of the wingers for Altrincham, and it was extremely true. He was just, no one was on him. He had tons of space and tons of time, and that's something that we need to crack down on. I think also, going back to that Altrincham game, I think there was a big turning point when we lost Thierry Fairweather to injury, and then he was substituted off. That was a big turning point, I think, because he was having a very good game and they had a bit more availability. We had Mitch Hancock's come on, who's more of a natural midfielder than fullback. And obviously, Ollie Dyson also came off injured for Lionel John Lewis. So I think both of those players, some of them maybe will have gone off a bit later, but we conceded after Thierry Fairweather went off, and that was not great. Another problem, Callum Howe. He was the man who got a red card in the Wealdstone game. I was very impressed with him and Tyler Cordner in the second half of the Altrincham game, especially. And he was obviously out for the Kidderminster game, so that might be another problem as well. Another problem, I think, is fitness. Morton has put down a lot of these things down to some of these players not have joined sort of later in pre-season, so they're not fully fit yet. So maybe that's a possible problem too. That's what he's been saying. A lot of these problems do boil down to whether Michael Morton is a good enough manager. Me personally, I think everyone is being a bit dramatic. They're going a bit over the top. Listen, obviously he did have the end of last season, but with the first proper squad, first proper transfer window, new owners, we've had 3 games. I think people just need to give him a bit more time, and I'm glad it looks like the owners have been giving him a bit more time. And I do think a lot of these things from the first 2 games at least changed in the Altrincham match, and we got a bit unlucky with injuries, and their second goal as well was a little bit scrappy. Stockdale did all he could to save it, and then it fell quite kindly to the Altrincham player. But overall, we've had a pretty, I'd say, it's not been good, but I think Morton needs to be given more time to figure out the squad and gel with the squad and get everyone back to full fitness before we start saying, oh, he's not good enough, let's sack him. No, overall, I think the next season and this season and a couple of seasons to come with new owners and all of that stuff, it's not Hollywood, Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney takeover. We're not going to get, realistically, we're not going to get promoted or win the league in our first season with these new owners. That's just unrealistic. So I think it is going to be, we're going to have to be patient as York fans, and it's a bit of a waiting game. But I do think these owners are for the better. I think the Ugler family are going to do a good job, and hopefully will be here for a while. So I hope that the fans, me included later, don't sort of turn on them and get them out after a string of bad results, because I think they are here for the right reasons, not for reasons like the other people, like Glenn Henderson and all those other people. So I do think they are here for the better, and we shouldn't push them out too quickly. So for the rest of the season, we've obviously got Aldershot this Saturday or tomorrow as I'm filming this. And I think there were signs in the Altrincham game that we could start to climb back up the table, so I don't think we should get too worried about being in a relegation fight just yet. I think as this team gels and gets better and everyone gets back to full fitness as we get into sort of the long straight of the season, we should start to balance things out, and hopefully we can have a better time. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully City can start to pull things back together. See you in the next one.